Okay, well, good Thursday evening, New York Jet fans and NFL fans. It is August 1st, 2024, 7:12 p.m. We are about 48 minutes or so away from kickoff, the Hall of Fame game where the Texans and the Bears will meet and start off football for the next 6 months. I am so happy. I am giddy as a Jet fan. I couldn't wait for last season to end, and I cannot wait for this season to begin. You are watching The Takeoff. My name is Alex. I'm going to be doing these videos at least once a week during the preseason and through camp. It'll be twice a week once the season starts, unless there's any type of breaking news happening in between. I'll also be tweeting, and I'll also be posting on Instagram and TikTok. And at the end of this video, I will have all the ways that you could follow us and all the ways you can interact with us. I want to hear from the fans. I want to hear from opposing fans. I want to hear from the experts. I want to hear from everybody. Let me know. How do you feel about these videos? Am I doing a good job? Can I add to it? Am I taking too long? Listen, you tell me. I'm going to try to make this as enjoyable as possible for all of us. It is, for me, something I enjoy. It is something that is a passion. It is a labor of love. For years, I had a website with my buddy called nyjetstories.com. You know, blogs and websites kind of went passe, so now we're on YouTube. You can follow us at any time, and we want you to interact with us. So this morning I get up, August 1st, middle of the summer, kids are still in bed, and I'm like, August 1st, and I text right away my two daughters, hey, today's the first day of football, August 1st. I text my best friend, who's like my brother to me, my cousin, and my two cousins, actually. They're all in a group chat together. And I will refer to them throughout my videos all the time. First day, I text my other buddy, Jimmy, and Jimmy writes back, yay. Jimmy is a fanatic. He had season tickets back in the 80s, had them a few years back. Now he's back again this year. I get a text back from my oldest daughter. Yep, and in 10 days, Dad, we're going to be at home in the stadium. Can't ask for anything better than that. So, Jet off season. Listen, I didn't do a lot of videos. I will be honest with you. I was very disgusted last year. Honestly, I couldn't wait for the Super Bowl to be over. I just wanted nothing to do with it. I was in, probably no pools. My fantasy league, I just, after that Monday night game and the news and then how the team regressed, I was just not into it. And I've been following this team since 1983. So that was, and I've sat there through 1-15 and never missed a game. So for me to be that disgusted, it was bad. So I am very excited about this year. I'm cautiously optimistic. But our offseason seemed to be okay. I like Joe Douglas. I think Joe does a good job with obtaining trades and signing free agents. I think his drafts have been good. And one thing this Jet team cannot do, and it's been their history, is draft a quarterback. Look at it this way. And somebody said this the other day on ESPN in the morning. I think it was DiPietro show. Joe Namath, 55 years ago, won the Super Bowl for the Jets, and he is still the most iconic player on the Jets. 55 years. You're talking about a team that played in New York City and now, plays in New Jersey. Talking about a team that had Hall of Fame players. Talking about a team that had Bill Parcells as a coach. Talking about a team that went to back-to-back AFC Championship games. Talking about it, they cannot draft a quarterback. Okay? The younger generation, they hear Joe Namath and they think of me thinking of Babe Ruth. Okay? The older generation, my generation, maybe a little older, Joe did it on and off the field with style. He was a winner. Okay? Jets have not had a quarterback that can be known just, by the name. Name it. Broadway Joe. Okay? We had Brett Favre a few years back. 16 years ago. And like the mayor of New York gave him the key to the city the day he signed. And, last year Aaron Rodgers came and we had hard knocks and we had just the over compensation for this team. Okay? I'm cautiously optimistic. Last year, it was like I couldn't wait for the game to start, the week to start, practice to start. This year, I'm like, listen, let's enjoy it. We don't know how it's going to go. We don't know how long the fun is going to last. I won't say how long it lasted last year. People know they were watching it. The whole world was watching it because we were the only show on. But cautiously optimistic. That's just what I'm going to say now. Until the season gets going. So getting back to Joe Douglas, he brought over Aaron Rodgers. Okay. Right now, it is do or die for this team with Aaron Rodgers. Joe Douglas's legacy will be a tale of two quarterbacks. Drafting Zach Wilson, number 2 overall, and bringing Aaron Rodgers here. What will he be known for when his tenure here or when his career in the NFL is over? Can he be the GM that gave the Boston Red Sox, and I can't remember his name, that young kid back in the day, their first world championship? Can he be the guy who delivers? Can he be the Mark Messier of the New York Jets? It's, Joe Douglas put the pieces together. Now they got to come and work. He brought over to a top 5 defensive team, at least inside the top 10, I'm going to say top 5, Hassan Reddick. Hassan Reddick has held out of camp since he's been traded for. Now, I just want to give you a little background on this quickly. Before I did this podcast, and I've been working on this podcast for a while, I've been deleting it, putting it back and whatnot. I did some investigating on Hassan Reddick. Craig Carton, formerly of WFAN and of now Fox Sports 1, spoke of Hassan Reddick. And he said that, and I will say this, Carton gets the insight. He gets the tips. He gets the confidential information. He said that when he spoke to his people, the Jets spoke to Hassan Reddick, and he said to them that the Eagles are not going to give him the long-term deal that he wants. The Jets said to him, we're going to trade for you. We're not going to extend your contract like you want, but you play average to what you're usually playing, okay? And we will compensate. Last year, he had 11 sacks, 20 solo tackles, 1 forced fumble. Okay? So average is you want to have 15 to 20 solo tackles. You want to get to 9, 10, 11 sacks. Maybe a couple more forced fumbles, but average, and you'll be compensated. Supposedly, it was agreed upon. He said make the trade, and now he's holding out. This is not the same old Jets. This is not Joe Douglas's fault. Honestly, keep him out. Let him come back closer to the beginning of the first week. He's a young guy. He's 29. He should be fine. You can't blame Joe Douglas on this. You cannot blame the organization on this. Okay? He will be there. They also had, after that, I was watching, I believe on ESPN, they were speaking to a running back that used to play for the Eagles that used to line up against Reddick, and he's like, him holding out is not a problem. He will be fine. He will not have any rust. He will be ready to go week 1. Let him hold out to week 1. He'll get his money, and the Jets will get their guy. He is losing, I believe, $250,000 every time he misses a camp day. He eventually will have to show up. Okay? So, Hassan Reddick, when he's ready, will make this inside the top 10, top 5, maybe a top 3 team. The defense will be on point. Aaron Rodgers is 40 years old, coming off an Achilles injury. Listen, I'll take that over, and we saw it. Zach Wilson last year. You have it or you don't. Aaron Rodgers is an MVP. He is a Super Bowl champion. He is a superstar quarterback. Okay. He will make the people around him better. Last year, Garrett Wilson and him looked like they were going to be the tandem. It was going to be Rodgers to Wilson. That didn't happen. It only happened in the preseason. This year, there's been reports out of camp that Wilson and Rodgers have been chirping at each other. There was two amateur videos that actually the major sports networks picked up on, of them chirping at each other at camp. Now, they weren't yelling loud enough at each other where the phone could pick it up or the video device could pick it up, but you could see they were pointing and, throwing their hands in the air, whatever. Nobody ever had to come between them. There was a point where a coach actually tapped Wilson on the back, almost like to calm him down. It never got out of hand. This week, they were both asked about it. They both said, it's nothing. You're making, don't speculate. It's two guys trying to get on the same page. Rodgers said, hey, I need him on my page, and I need to be on his page. We need to work together. Okay? Listen, I'll accept that. Rodgers, I'll accept that from, and I'll accept that from Zach Wilson. From Garrett Wilson. I won't accept that from Zach Wilson. Rodgers, you're going to say, well, Rodgers, he thinks he's Tom Brady. Listen, nobody's Tom Brady. I hated the man for many years. I give him his props now. 6 Super Bowls or whatever it was. He appeared in 8 of them or whatever it was. Whatever records he broke, whatever cheating he did, whatever, it's over with. Him, Peyton Manning, they are at an elite status. They're at a different status. Aaron Rodgers could be at that status, and he's close to that status. And he could talk to his wide receivers or his linemen or his center or his running backs the way he wants to. Okay? He's going to get them ready. He's going to get them going. All right? He is not going to make them pussyfoot around, on the field. He's going to expect perfection. He's going to expect execution. He's going to expect winning. Okay? He is a winner. So let's throw all that bullshit out to the side. There's nothing wrong there. If this is going on by week 6 and there's an issue on the field, Santonio Holmes back in the day, and the players actually tumbled off the field, then okay, we have an issue. But right now, Zach and Aaron, I think, are just, hey, it's like big brother, little brother. Okay. I'm not going to do any type of speculation or guess the record right now. I'll wait till before week 1 to guess the record. Want to see what the final roster looks like. But I will say this. Our weakest link, and it's a pretty big link, is our head coach. I like Robert Saleh. I thought when we hired him, hey, we're getting a young, in physical fit condition Rex Ryan. To me, his in-game management is not there right now. This is going to be, I believe, his 4th season. He started the COVID year. So this is his 4th season with the team. He is on the hot seat. Okay, he's on the hot seat. He got a pass last year. The team was built around Aaron Rodgers. The system was built around Aaron Rodgers, and it never panned. They went, I believe, 7-10. He's not getting a pass this year. Joe Douglas, I think, is a little bit less on the hot seat. I think the way he brought in players, the way he drafts, is the direction this team wants to go in. Again, I don't want to see another head coach. I want Saleh to be successful. So I'm hoping that he finally will. He learned, he adjusted. He'll make in-game adjustments. He'll make good game plans, and we'll go from there. Listen, Rodgers has Hackett. It's his safety net. They play well together. The game plan is good together. Hackett with anybody else, I'd have a problem with. We saw that last year with Zach, but I'll take it with him and Rodgers. So you're gonna, forget about any type of issues. This team has to be built to win. They need to have success. And I'll be honest, when we signed Rodgers, I said, I want to get 2 seasons out of him. Get them to the playoffs this year. Get him to the end next year. We need 2 more seasons out of him. So we have to have him here at least 3 years. So keep this man standing up. Keep this man's jersey clean. And put W's on the board. Somebody said the other day, on ESPN, if the Jets score 17 points a game, they should win 10, 11 games. So you tell me Aaron Rodgers has only put 17 points on the board. I'll take that every day of the week. So, listen, the Jets have always, they can't avoid the headlines. They can't avoid controversy, I guess. And it's just, par for the course. But last year, the Jets brought back their legacy uniforms, which is the uniforms they wore from, I believe, 77 to 97, up through first year Bill Parcells. The green helmet with the white JETS with the jet plane going across the top. They wore it 2 games last year. It was a huge hit. Especially they brought it back, Klecko going into the Hall of Fame and whatnot. This year, it's back full time. It is their new uniforms. They call it the Legacy uniform. They have it in white and green. They have that Gotham black as well. The gentleman who claims to have made the logo back in the 70s is now suing them for using the logo without his permission and without giving him compensation. It's like, you can't even get away from this. Listen, I don't know what's going to happen. I'm figuring they're either going to pay him or the court is going to say that he doesn't have a right to it. There's no proof. Because they wore these for 20 years and he never said anything. Now they're brought back and he wants his compensation. So, even that. In addition to the legacy uniforms being back full time, this year they're actually doing a throwback to the classics, which is the uniform that they wore from 98 to 2017. Excuse me. Which was also replicated the uniforms that Namath wore in the Super Bowl. The white helmet with the football, with the NYJETS in the football. They're wearing that for the Monday night game versus Buffalo this year at home. So basically, that is our off season right now. Zach Wilson is now in the Denver Broncos. JFM I think he went to the Eagles. I don't remember where JFM went. And listen, you want to get through training camp healthy. You want to get through training camp knowing who your thirds are. You know who your number ones are. You kind of have a feeling who your number twos are. It's those number threes you're not sure of. Who has to step up? Who can be that guy on special teams that knocks the ball down and makes a block or causes a fumble or recovers a fumble. But speaking of special teams, yesterday, and funny, I'm watching ESPN. They're showing Devin Hester, so special teams. He's being inducted tonight. The NFL came out with a new rule for 2024. 2025 rather. No, 2024 season on kickoffs. And basically, you can't do an onside kick unless you're losing. You have to alert the official that you're going to attempt an onside kick. I don't like this. I remember the 2009 Super Bowl, the Saints playing the Broncos. The second half started with the Saints doing an onside kick and recovering it. That kind of turned the game around. That's a strategy. So I cannot see why this is being done. I don't know why it's a safety rule. Onside kick is an onside kick. That's it. They're showing a picture of the stadium in Canton, Ohio. And I have to say, if you ever have a chance to get out there to go to the Hall of Fame, it is definitely a bucket list trip. And if you could take in the game while you're there, even better if it's your team playing. So what else are we going to talk about? Listen, most of the season or over the season, I'm going to talk about what happened on the field and what's going on with the team and news and whatnot. There's not much to speak about now. So just going to go a little off the charts here. For those of you who know me, okay, I've been following this team since 1983. live, breed, and bleed Jets. It started with me watching games with my father. He was a big Jet fan. He lived in Queens for a little bit. He was a Namath fan. And I'm not going to lie, he bet on the games. And I'm talking 45, 50, 50 years ago, 45 years ago, where there was no FanDuel. There was no, ESPN bet. You didn't go to Aqueduct, to the casino. You didn't go to Atlantic City to place bets. You either went to Vegas or you went to a bookie. And he went to a bookie, at the hangout he would be at. And he would bet the games, and he'd put on Monday Night Football, and Sundays was always, Channel 2, 1 o'clock was always the Giants. Channel 4 at 4 o'clock was the Jets. And then you had Monday Night Football on Channel 7, Howard Cosell. And then, eventually Sunday Night Football came in and whatnot. But before Sunday Night Football, it was just Monday night and whatnot. We would watch the games on our little, 19-inch screen TV, and I'd lay on the floor and I'd ask him questions. And I know he's trying to watch and see what the spread is and whatnot, but he was patient most part, and we went through the games, and he would teach me. And then, I went to my first game in '83, I believe. It was the last year they were in Shea, so I think it was November of '83. They played the Baltimore Colts, and he, ironically, was unable to make that game. So I went with my mom, my two cousins, who one is a big Jet fan, Michael, and my aunt and my uncle, who were his sister and brother-in-law. We went and watched the game at Shea. 2 years later, or three years later, '87 or '88, we went to, I think it was '88, the Monday night game at the Meadowlands. My father and I sat in the 300 section on the Jets sideline, and it was the pumpkin game. It was Jets-Bills. Jets got destroyed 31-10, I believe. They were burning painters' caps that they handed out. They were making paper airplanes out of something that they I think a poster that they were handed. There was a tremendous pumpkin. It was a huge pumpkin that was being knocked around through the different levels of the stadium. It actually fell to the field, and security took it into the tunnel. Everybody started chanting for it. 5 minutes later, security brought it out, and the place erupted. And I remember the guy next to me or in front of me saying, "Holy shit, they're going to call this the pumpkin game." And years later, if I said Monday night pumpkin game, they'll talk about that. You fast forward, and we were fortunate enough to get season tickets, and I have to say, for the first 5 seasons, my dad and I never missed a game. As he got older, he started missing, 1 or 2 games. We didn't go to the games sick anymore. We would just bundle up, whatever. And we then moved into the new stadium, and he said to me, "Let's get another seat. Or let's get 2 more seats." And I said, "You know what? The PSLs and whatnot, let's just get 1." He goes, "All right, you have 2 kids. We'll do 1. You'll have 3 seats." And eventually he started going to less and less games, and my girls started coming to games, 1 or 2 preseason games, maybe 1 o'clock game early, in the season, or a game that, my father couldn't make. And now they come to every game with me. And I have to say, I'm doing this since '83. So you're talking 35 years, or, whatever it is, 31 years. No, more than that. I'm sorry. Look at me. It's 40 years. It's going to be 41 years. And we had more losing seasons than winning seasons. Very few home playoff appearances. I've been to 2 home playoff games. But I would never give up the memories that I made with my father. My wife, when we were dating, she would come with me. My buddies, and now my girls. And yes, the ultimate goal is a win, is watching them that last Sunday. But we just make memories, and I will cherish these memories, from, watching games with my dad and BSing in the car and tailgating with my buddies and joking and whatnot, to, my girls meeting Darrell Revis and Rex Ryan and other players. My girls being on TV. They were actually anchors on CBS doing a Jet special. So yes, I get sentimental. Continuing quickly, so I mentioned my girls, I mentioned my father, my wife, and my family, my cousin Mike. I have 3 other people who I'm very close to with the Jets, and very close to in life. And it's my cousin Richie, who's my wife's cousin, but to me, he's my cousin. Always treated me like family. My cousin Mikey, and my best friend George, who I know for 46 years. We are all big-time Jet fans. Me, Mikey, and Richie are big Yankee fans. George is a Met fan. Me, Mikey, and George are big-time Ranger fans. Richie is a diehard Islander fan. But we will text each other throughout the week, sometimes multiple times a day, going over things, sending each other videos and TikToks and whatnot. And they are just great guys, both to talk sports with and in my life. So a couple of weeks back, my best friend, George texts me. He goes, "Hey, what are you doing? It's a Friday." I'm like, "No, I'm finishing up work." He goes, "All right, I have something to show you." And he comes to my house and he goes, "Here, open this." And I open it up and he goes, "It's not what I thought it was, but I still think you would like it." And basically, it was a framed photo of a record. Okay, so those of you who know me know that I've been a DJ for, 38 years. I've been DJing since I'm 15. So 37 years, almost 38 years. So he took the love of my passion for music, my passion for the Jets, and he found this. He just found it, and he thought of me, and it touched me. Well, he didn't touch me. It touched me, and it's part of my Jet room. A few days later, I go outside, and mail comes, and there's a package underneath my mailbox, which couldn't fit. It's like a 12 by 12 package. And I see the return address. It's my cousin Richie. And I bring it in, and I'm ripping it open, and my wife's like, "You look like a kid on Christmas or your birthday." And I'm like, "This is going to be good." And in it, again, Jet-themed little Jet figures. So just to know that these guys think of me, even when we're not speaking or texting each other, and they see something that reminds me of them, just shows how close we are. And those things are part of my Jet room. And here it is. I want to show you these 2 pictures. So that's pretty cool, right? It's part of my Jet room. And I will do a feature on my Jet room pretty soon. But I'm not going to do one today. I'll do it probably during the season, maybe during the bye week. But it's I just keep adding little things. I have things here from probably 1993, 1992 that I collected through, the other day. My mom brought me something. She went to Mexico and she brought me home. It looked like a native skull, made of porcelain, but it looks like a Jet helmet, and I'll show you that as well. So, people who know me know that this is a huge love for me. So let's get back to the podcast. Very quickly, I'm going to end it. Like I said, I want your input. Tell us what we're doing right. Tell us what we're doing wrong. How'd you feel about that last game? Hey, what is your schedule look like? Are you doing road trips? Are you superstitious? Do you wear the same things? Just let me know. I'm going to put up how you can reach us. We are on YouTube. You can subscribe to this video. You'll be updated. We are on Twitter. We have email, thejetstakeoff@gmail.com. We are on TikTok. We are on Instagram. Just quickly, I said superstitious. In the 98 season, I wore the same thing every game. I wore a Quebec jersey. I wore the same jeans. I wore the same hat. And I had Jet boxer shorts. Okay? I also had a Walkman. For you young lads, a Walkman was what they played radio and tapes on. And I hope you know what tapes are. But it also had AM, FM radio. I had a Jet Walkman, and I would take it to the game and listen to it. And actually had it synced up with the cable, because back then it was a digital cable, so there wasn't a delay. And I'd watch the game and listen to the Jets broadcast. Every game. Okay? To the point where after the 98 AFC Championship game, the boxers were basically half a leg on one side and just a waistband. Okay? Also, that season, the Jets just missed the playoffs the year before. Parcells came in and he revamped the uniform and he went back to the Future uniform, which was the name it uniform, which is called the Classic uniform now. First home game in the preseason was a 12 o'clock Saturday afternoon game. And I remember saying to my wife, she was my girlfriend at the time, I waited from December 26th to today to be here because the Jets got knocked out in the playoffs against the Lions December 26th. I can't wait to be back. Now, last year we didn't miss the playoffs by one game, but we had a run going at one point. We played tough against some really good teams. We beat the Eagles. We beat the Bills. Okay? I'm not going to talk about the Kansas City game, but we had a run at one point. You thought maybe you could sneak in. Didn't make it. Rodgers was hurt. Off-season, Rodgers is back. Okay? Almost the polar opposite. The season after that, Vinny got hurt. This is the season before now. Rodgers was hurt. Now he's coming back. Jets going out to their throwbacks that I grew up with. And their first home game, August 10th, Saturday, 12 o'clock. And you know what? It's my daughter's 20th birthday. We're going to do it in style. I got an extra ticket for my wife. We're going to be sitting together in our seats, and we're going to celebrate our daughter's birthday at that game. So looking forward to it. I'm looking forward from hearing from you. This is The Takeoff. Check us out. Talk to you soon. Have a great rest of your summer. Have a great rest of your week. Have a blessed week. Have a blessed week, whichever way you say it. Be safe. Be healthy. Let's go. Let's go, Jets. Football is back.